Okay, so as Jaden pointed out, we did skip over 9.2. We're only doing 9.1 and 9.3 in this topic. We're not doing any more than that. So we're 9.3 circles in a coordinate plane. So we have now taken just a circle and we're going to put it in a coordinate plane. So that means we have x and y coordinates that we can use to draw it. So we have a circle. See a circle? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now I can take and ooh, that's rather large. I can take and I can make the diameter through here. Yeah.
Let's straight.
And if I do this, I've made what?
Triangle.
A right triangle, correct? And I have sides of that right triangle. And I know that the hypotenuse squared equals both of the sides added together or squared and added together.
That's a definition.
Yes? No. Well, this is how we're going to get there. If you want to write this, you can. I know that, oh, that's not supposed to be x and y. That's supposed to be what and what? A and B. I'm moving too fast. My brain's going too fast. A squared plus B squared, yes? And those are sides of the triangle. But we don't know the sides of the triangle, do we?
No.
Nope, we have 2 points. We have a point, HK, and a point there, right? So in R would be the distance, wouldn't it? Is C the same as R on my picture?
Yes.
Yes. Is R the same as the distance between those 2 points?
Yes.
Yes. Do we have a distance formula? Yes. So we know that R squared, not squared, R, just R.
H and a K.
So what's the definition?
Yes, that's an H and K. We're getting there. We are going to make the definition one.
Oh my god.
We're going to make the definition from what we already know. Because we know the Pythagorean theorem, yes? Do we know the Pythagorean theorem?
Yeah.
Yes. Do we know the distance formula? Yes. So we know that the square root should be x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1. That's the definition of the distance, correct? Everyone following?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got some points. X and Y would be my 2, my second one, wouldn't it? They're my tallest. And my other one would be what? H and K? Wouldn't it? Okay, so we're going to replace them. So R is going to be the square root of X minus H squared plus
Do we need another square thing?
Y.
at the top one?
no.
Isn't y squared minus y1?
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, I think I said it and didn't write it. Okay, so how did I get from the second step to the third?
Put them in.
I just plugged it in here, didn't I? I just plugged over there what I had. And specifically, H and K was my what of the circle?
Like middle.
Middle, or the center?
Why do you have K?
Because that's the point, HK. Okay, HK is the center of the circle. And from here on out, guys, anything I introduce you, next year, pre-cal, calculus, if you go that far, every time I give you an equation, I will give you an H and a K and how it works, and it's going to work the same way with every single equation, no matter what it is. But this is just your introduction to that, okay? And XY is just a point, isn't it? It's a point on the circle. Okay. And then on the circle. And what else? Oh, what's R?
Half the diameter.
Radius, right? Or half the diameter. It's the radius of the circle, isn't it? If I know the radius, can I draw any circle? Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to make sure we knew what those things were. Okay, but I don't want a square root in it. Like, if I wanted just the radius, that's how I do it, right? The actual equation of the circle doesn't have a square root in it. Well, what would I do to get rid of a square root? What's the opposite of taking the square root?
Square root.
Squaring it, correct?
Yeah.
So I'm going to square both sides. And we know when we square a square root, we get what's inside, don't we? So I have r squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. This is the definition or equation of a circle. So what is r? Radius. What is h and k?
Center.
The center. The h is the x of the center, yes?
Yes.
The k is the what of the center?
Y.
The y. What's x and y?
Point on the circle.
Point on the circle. So do we know what every part of that is now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
From the circle.
From what?
Pythagorean
Pythagorean.
Pythagorean theorem. And then it led us to the distance formula, right?
Yes.
And it's the equation of the circle. So this is an equation of any circle. Right there. So what we're going to do first is we're going to identify. Says what are the radius and center of the circle? Okay. So 25 equals what?
Radius.
Well, 25 equals
R
r what?
squared.
Squared. So 25 equals r squared, but that's not the radius yet, is it? So how do I undo squaring? I take the
Square root.
square root. So I square root both sides. And so r is what? 5. Then it says what's the center? Well, the center, I'll write it here. The center was what again? HK, wasn't it? Okay. So the center, what's the H?
2,
2. What's the K?
3,
3. Now the formula says minus, doesn't it? The formula says minus. So when we are minus, then it's 2 and 3. What happens if it's plus?
Minus.
It's a negative, right? Because 2 negatives made it a what? Positive. Okay, so I want the center. I'll give you time to write that down. So 13 equals the quantity x minus 6 squared plus the quantity y plus 5 squared. Because those are equations of 2 circles, right? This first circle has a radius of 5 and the center at what? 2, 3. So could I draw that circle? Yeah. I put my compass point at 2, 3 and I set my radius at 5 and I make it, wouldn't I? Okay, so now here, well, 13 equals what?
R squared.
R squared. So what does R equal? Gotta take the square root. So R equals the square root of 13. The center,
So then the radius would just be like the first part, kind of, but if you can like reduce them.
yeah, if you reduce it, you have to reduce, yeah, you have to take the square root. And then like, this was the square root of 25, so it's 5. This was the square root of 13, so it's the square root of 13. What if it was the square root of 12?
Maybe.
It'd be
Maybe
2 square root of 3,
3.
right? So you just have to take the square root to know the radius. Okay, so now, remember the formula was y minus k, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is my h?
6.
6.
And then 5. -5.
Negative 5. How do I know it was negative 5? Because the formula was what? Minus. And how do you get a negative to be a positive?
2 negative.
Two negatives give me, multiplied together give me a positive, correct? I always have to remember to say multiply or divide. Divided together? That sounds weird.
And then you just take the same for the front.
If you have to, this was 6 because it's negative, this was -5 because it's a positive.
What if you have? Are they always just gonna be like x minus numbers, or will be numbers like with x's?
Well, they could,
So would you still?
but it would look weird. Like if they won't have any, but like I could have written this -5 plus y, but my k is still negative. They won't do that.
Okay.
They won't do. You could, but they won't do that. That's gross. Okay. What is the equation of each of these circles? So I need to remember what an equation of a circle is. What is it again?
R squared equals
R squared equals
parentheses x minus y parentheses squared.
We have to write
no
that down.
x
the circle.
minus
H.
h
What did I say?
y
Do we have to
plus
write that as a graph or whatever?
Parentheses.
It might help if you have the
Y.
graph example on there.
and it doesn't have to be perfect
Oh
y.
my
Y.
God.
Y minus
Okay.
Stupid.
Parentheses squared.
squared, not square root. Okay, if I'm drawing this on my paper, guys, with you have nothing, right? All you have to do is this. Draw your circle, put a point here, and put, what's that coordinate right there?
3
3 what?
x
3 what?
y.
3 what?
3 0.
3 0. And then what's this point right here?
Where?
1,
-2.
-2. On your paper, that's all you need. You don't need anything else. Or if you want to put the x-axis, can you put the x-axis right there?
Yes.
Yes. It doesn't, you don't need to write the grids.
I'm not really good at drawing circles.
It's fine, they'll get better. You're not gonna get an art grade. Okay,
Wait, where do I?
I just draw on that and then.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where's
it's
the
under
other
that.
dot?
It's up there.
It's
in the
on the
corner.
line.
okay, so on my paper, I'm going to do these things. Okay, what is that right there?
Center.
The center. So the center is 3 0, yes?
Yes.
And the center is what? What variables of the center? They're in your notes. Up at the top.
Oh, x. I mean y. H and K.
H and K, right? So I'm gonna put an H under it and a
Okay.
K. So I know the 3 is H and the K is what?
0.
0. Okay? And then I know this point right here, which is 1, -2. And that's just a point on the circle. So what's its variables?
X and y.
X and Y. So that formula has R, X, H, and Y, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have, there's 5 variables. How many do I have of those 5?
4.
I have 4. So can I solve for the other one if I have,
Yes.
Yes.
What's the other one?
what's the other one? I have H, K, X, Y. What are we missing?
Oh,
R. And if
Oh.
I want the equation of a circle, do I need to know R?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to work on this, correct?
Yes.
So R squared equals X minus H, what's X? 1 minus H, so minus 3, then what? Squared plus,
3.
no, what's Y?
1
What's Y?
or 2.
-2 minus K,
0.
0, and then
Square.
square. Let me get those right.
Huh?
Okay, we need to get those right.
Well, I keep thinking it's about.
What we've been doing. Okay, so 1 minus 3 is,
Negative
so -2 squared is
4.
4. So R squared still equals this, right? Plus -2 squared, which is
4
4. So r squared is
8.
8. Now, if I wanted just the radius, I'd tell you it's the square root of 8, correct? But do I need the radius?
So we don't have to have our,
What
Oh,
do
no.
I need the radius to write the equation?
yes, no,
I need r squared, don't I?
yes.
Okay, so I have r squared, and I have the center. Is that all I need to do to write that equation? Yes. So r squared is
8,
8
wait,
equals, parenthesis, and x is always going to be x in an equation, correct?
so when we write this out, we leave X and Y out of it.
Yes,
But
because
if
it's
we-
not an equation if I don't. Like we had to plug in x and y in order to find r. We had to find r squared to be able to do this. So x minus h, what's h?
Minus.
3,
3. You've labeled it. You've labeled it right there. No guessing, Carly.
I wasn't.
Oh, that's fine, take
I
a
said
guess anyways.
minus.
Oh, I thought you said 1. I'm like, no guessing. Okay, minus what?
3,
3. And then what?
parentheses,
Square plus y minus 0. Square. Squared. Okay, all I did was, what did I say? It said write an equation of a circle. So did I write up what an equation of a circle was?
Yeah.
Yep. Did I write what I knew and the things I had?
Mhm.
Yes? Okay, I knew those things. Something is wrong. Because that radius is 3. So this should be 9. Isn't that radius 3?
Don't know.
1, 2, 3. Is that radius not 3?
No.
Yours is 3.
It's 3.
It's 3.
So what did we get?
8.
It's not a circle. It's slightly off.
Is it hitting?
Oh, it isn't. It isn't hitting.
Yes.
Never mind. Okay, so can we just assume, guys?
No.
No. Okay, we know that this is 3-0, yes? But when I look at this picture, it doesn't hit the 6. It's not quite there.
So we're fine then?
Yeah, we're fine.
Okay.
If I could count it, can I count it?
Yeah.
Yeah, or if it tells me, that's nice if it tells me too, then I just have to square it, don't I? Okay,
So what?
this is r squared,
Why don't,
yes?
It's not your-
If I knew this was
No,
3,
you're good.
how would I get this?
or-
Say right word, square it. Okay, do I have to leave this like that?
Yeah.
no, yeah, yes, no,
Yeah.
If 0 is going to be 0 every time, does it need to be there?
no.
Yeah, you can
No.
if you leave it if you want.
If I have y minus 0, isn't that just y?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Juan said I could leave it like that. Yes, I will let you leave it like that. But could I write it differently?
Yes.
Yes.
It'd just be x minus 3 squared plus what?
Y.
Squared.
Y squared. Just like when you did y equals mx plus b, if there wasn't a b, it's what? 0?
Yes.
If there's not a k, what is it?
0.
0. Okay. Can you leave it like this?
Yeah.
Yes, but do you have to?
No.
No. Okay. So again, we're writing the equation of the circle. So I'm writing it so I can remember it. R squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. Okay, h is the horizontal movement because it's x, guys. So remember h is horizontal, and so k isn't h, so k is what? Up and down? It's the vertical, it's with the y. So that's how you can remember which one is what. Okay, what information do they give me? Do they give me r? If they gave me r, that'd be great, but do they?
No.
No. If they give me r, I just have to square it and stick it on the end, don't I? Okay, so what did they give me?
They gave you the center
The center
and a point.
and a point, right? Okay, so what is the center?
-3, -1.
-3, -1. Okay, so what are those variables out of h, k, x, y, and r?
H and K.
H and K. Write it underneath of them. I love how when this pen skips. Okay, and then the point is what?
Negative 4,
Negative 4. And that is what variables?
X and Y.
X and Y. So again, I have X, Y, H, and K. I need to plug them in so I can find that R squared, don't I?
Yes.
Now, if I needed just R, I'd have to take the square root, but I don't need just R, do I? I need R squared for the equation. Yes? Okay, so R squared equals
Negative 4
minus a
plus.
negative 3, so it becomes a plus. Two negatives make a positive when we're multiplying, right?
Yes.
Okay? And then plus
Negative 4.
negative 4 minus a negative 1 squared. If you guys struggle with remembering the two positives that make a negative, watch me when I do it. I say minus a negative 3.
I just
You mean
figured
two
something in
negatives
my head.
makes a positive?
Yep, two
You said-
negatives
you
make
s-
a positive when I multiply. Okay, so negative 4 and 3 is
Negative 1.
negative 1 squared is 1.
Yeah.
Negative 4 plus 1,
Negative 1. 3.
negative 3 squared,
9.
9. So R squared equals
10.
10. And do I need R squared for my equation?
Yes.
Yes. And do I need my H and my K for my equation? Yes. If you watch me ever do my work, when I'm done, I box the R squared and I box the H and the K because that's all I need now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all I need. So all I need to do is put them back into what?
The formula.
The formula. So what's it going to be, Carly? It's on you.
R squared equals X minus.
No. So what's R squared? Yeah, plug the numbers in. What's R squared?
What is your R squared?
R squared.
Yes.
10
10. So 10 equals
X minus 3
minus a
negative
negative 3. So it's going to be what?
positive 3
Mm-hmm.
plus squared plus
Plus squared.
X y minus a positive 1.
Y minus a negative 1. So it turns into a positive 1.
Yeah. And then
Squared. I think you knew that. I think you were just saying it weird.
yeah.
Okay. So is that my equation of the circle?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I just take that equation of the circle. So am I going to need to know that equation of the circle?
No.
Yeah. So when you guys are working on your homework today, do you need to highlight that so you'll have it for your quest?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I do the rest with that?
We only have 3 more examples.
Well,
Okay.
A lot of writing.
I'm not even gonna have time. I have examples down.
Okay. So circle Q. This one doesn't have a picture. There's not one circle I gave you here. So if you need to draw a circle, you need to draw a circle. But do you have to draw a circle?
No.
Not if you don't want to. So circle Q has a radius of 7. Okay. So if you want, you can. It's just a circle, right? Radius is what? 7. The center is at the origin. What's the point for the origin?
0.
0, 0. So 0, 0. And has a point on it. And it's negative square root of 3, 5. Actually, that would be down here. It'd be right here. Negative 3 square root of 2, comma 5. But is that really helping me do this problem at all? To make a circle? Probably not. Because what is R?
7.
7. What is H and K?
Negative 3.
Yeah. What's H and K? What part of the circle is H and K? The what?
Oh, 0, 0.
It's the center, right? H and K is my center. Juan, why aren't you writing?
Too much writing.
All of this you would have to write regardless whether I
I ain't
printed
got
them out
time.
or not. You are not making a very good choice. Okay, so the center is 0, 0. That's H my K, correct? then the point, right here, -3, this is just my point, right? I don't wanna write it again. This is x, this is y. It asks, is -3 square root of 2, 5 on that circle?
What's that circle with a point in it?
That means circle.
Oh, okay.
That's a symbol for circle. Circle with center Q.
Okay.
Okay, and we name circles by the center point. Okay, so if this is true, if this point is on this circle, r squared has to equal x minus h squared plus y minus k squared, doesn't it? So I just plug it in like we did the Pythagorean theorem, we plug things in. So I'm gonna write the equation again, so r squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k, correct?
Yeah.
So if this point is on that circle, all this has to be true, right? The left has to equal the right? Okay, so what's r? 7. So 7 squared equals, what's x? -3 square root of 2 minus h, what's h? 0 squared plus y, 5 minus 0 squared. So the left has to equal the right, doesn't it?
Yes.
So what's the left equal?
Don't know.
49.
Wait, what?
7 squared is 49.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well then when I minus 0, there's just not there, right? Now remember when I square both the in and the out, right? So -3 squared is 9. What's the square root of 2 squared? 2. So that'd be 9 times 2, right? Plus 5 squared is 25. So this is 18, correct? So for this to be true, that right has to equal 49. What's it equal? 43.
I feel like time plus 15 for that.
Okay. So are those equal?
No.
No, they're not equal, so I'm going to tell it's not equal. So does the point lie on the circle?
No.
No. So we write -3 square root of 2 comma 5 is not on circle Q. If it was, 49 would equal 49, correct? That's it. It's pretty easy, isn't it? No?
Yeah.
You guys ready to go to the next one?
Yeah.
Somebody said, who said no? Okay, let me know when you are. We're not gonna do the next example, we're gonna do the third example, because this one's at the origin again. I wanna do an example where it's not at the origin. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
I got it.
Because the origin makes it really easy, doesn't it? -0 and you're done. So we're gonna do that last example first. You good, Nicole?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna do this one. Okay, is this circle? Is this point right there lie on that circle? So if this is the point, 6, 3, what variables are those?
That's the 7.
That's
No,
X
that's
and
the
Y.
point. That's
That's X and
x and y. So 6 comma 3 is x, y. The center
It's 2, 4.
is 2, 4. So that's what?
H and K.
H and K. And then the radius, so what variable is it?
R.
R. So again, we're doing r squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. Why don't you guys try to plug all those in? And then keep going. I will plug mine in a second. Tell me when you're done plugging in and then I'll plug mine in. But keep going.
Does the R have to be lowercase?
Yes.
Alright.
It does.
Yes.
Oh, well, I've been doing this whole segment wrong then.
Just like area, A has to be capitalized. And tangent
Wait, are we
cosine.
still?
You're checking whether they're on the circle. You guys got it plugged in so we can check it?
No. Oh
No.
wait, you don't want to actually like.
Yeah, you know, keep going. If you've got it plugged in, keep going. I was just gonna, Carly, just don't look up, okay?
I got it plugged
Okay.
in now.
So it's this 3 square root of 3 squared, whole thing, right? And then x is 6 minus h, which is 2 squared, plus y, which is 3, minus k, which is 4 squared. Did you plug it in good?
Yes.
Okay. What's gonna be tricky about my radius?
Or the square root.
It's gotta square both, correct?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be 9 times 3.
How do you? See, that's the part I never understand.
Okay, you have to square 3.
Yes.
Which is
what's
9.
The other one.
Well, the other one is the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 because it's squared, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Which would be the square root of 9, which is what?
3.
3.
Couldn't you just make that 27?
What are you doing?
Wouldn't that be 9 times?
Yeah,
3?
it will be. I was just going through the steps. I went through the steps of why this is this. She needed the steps, so I showed her. Because 3 times 3 is 9.
I actually get how to do that.
And then you have to square this, so it'd be square root of 3 times the square root of 3, which would be the square root of 9, which is 3. Okay, then over here, what do we got? We've got 4 squared plus negative 1 squared.
Yes.
So I get 27 equals 16
Plus 1.
plus 1. So 27 doesn't equal 17. So is this point
No.
on the circle?
No.
No. I would assume the middle one is.
So, do we have to write it out like the last?
Yes. So 6, 3 is not on the circle.
Maybe a circle was like.
Can, but this one doesn't give us a center, like it doesn't name the center, so it's weird to do that. Okay, so I'm hoping this one is. How about you guys?
Nope.
Okay, so I have the point. What's my point?
3 negative 3 square root 11.
Right here's my point, right? So this is what?
Can I use the restroom?
X, Y? Yeah. Class is almost over. Where's the center? There's not another point.
Oh,
The circle with the center at the what?
origin. So
Origin.
0,
So what is the center then?
0,
0, 0. They're not gonna tell you 0, 0. And that's what? H and, okay? And the radius, so what? R? So you work on it and I'll work on it. We'll meet in the middle, right? Check before you move on, make sure you set it in there right. So is the point on the circle?
Yes.
Yes. Nicole, did you get it to come out 20 equals 20?
I didn't do it.
Why not? Riley, did you get out 20 equals 20?
Yeah.
Carly? 1?
Let's copy it off. It's the same.
Layden, did you get 20 equal 20?
I would've, but
I'm
then
good
I
with
looked
crap.
up there and I saw it.
Well, why'd you keep going?
I
James?
understand
Instead
it
of
way
right,
better
you
now.
doing it, waiting for us to get done.
Well, you don't have to look up.
Well, it's kind of tempting to look up.
Okay,
when you
so
do it.
is this point on the circle?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Why? because 20 equal
does
20.
equal 20.
Okay, so that's your assignment today. So what do I need to know?